All right, guys, it's recap time. So, looking back at week 9, very high scoring week. Lots of us over 100 points this week. Couple guys that were not above 100 points, though. Rich and Joe, you guys have embarrassingly bad teams. Joe, if you didn't have Saquon Barkley, you would be a shoo-in for the GD. Could be a, low-key runner at the cupbearer duties at the draft this year. So the story of Rich and I's game, which of course I won by 47 points, is the Bears D is unstoppable. Thank you, Jared. And Alvin Kamara is unstoppable. Once again, thank you, Jared. So Alvin Kamara, Bears D combined for me for about 60 points, which is about what Rich scored. So Rich's entire team only scored 2 more points than Alvin Kamara and the Bears D. So there you go. So Steve actually pulled out the W on Reese. Reese with 111 points. Gurley with that had to have been his worst effort of the season. It was only 13.9 points. You say only because it's Todd Gurley. 13.9 is what you should have at halftime. So Gurley really let Reese down. From Steve's side of things, he got that 72-yard touchdown from Breeze to Thomas at the end. Added about 22, 23 points to his total. That was the difference right there, getting that bomb of a touchdown. He also had like a 70-yard reception from George Kittle too. So Steve really got lucky this week. He put up 137 points, basically most of it coming on 2 huge plays. You can't discount it, though. Those plays did happen, and Steve gets the W. Reese lost 2 in a row now, entering into the tougher part of his schedule. It's some tough sledding here, Reese. So on to Vetri, who has taken over this team mid-season and has righted the ship. He is undefeated, 2-0 since his triumphant return. Ryan Fitzpatrick at QB for him, awesome. 27 fantasy points. He outdueled Pat Mahomes this last week. Who would have guessed that? James Conner continues to be an animal. Should have never traded him away. But I didn't think Bell was dumb enough to sit out all season. I guess he is, though, because he still hasn't shown up. So from senior side of things, Pat Mahomes is arguably the best player in fantasy, and he shows no signs of slowing down. Throwing at least 3 touchdowns in 5 straight games, I believe. The guy's an animal. Travis Kelce is, of course, a positional advantage over everybody in the league because tight end is a dumpster fire. So there you go. You got Vetri picking up the W. Mers had one of his explosion games. He's now had 3 of them. So he's had 6 really bad games and 3 of the highest scoring games in the league this season. So as Reese correctly pointed out before, Mers's team is the definition of boom or bust. You got to kind of feel for Jared, though, putting up 129 points and losing by a significant margin, losing by 18. Couldn't have expected Roethlisberger to put up 24 points at Baltimore. James White is an animal, but I would look for him to get a little bit of a downgrade this week with Sony Michel coming in, but I'll get to that on the matchup previews. Not much different Jared could have done. He had a huge week, great streams with the Miami D and Duke Johnson. He just ran into the buzzsaw this week, Jared. Nothing you can do. Sometimes it's just fate that you're near the bottom, and that's kind of where it is. Speaking of fate, Joe looks destined to be filling beers with cupbearer duty this next season. 50.98 points, and I haven't looked to confirm this, but that just has to be the lowest score in the league this season. Nobody even got hurt for Joe either. That's the truly frightening thing about this is everybody was healthy. and he put up 50.98. Not sure what in the world you're still doing with Matt Stafford. He belongs in free agency. He's doing terrible. He's not rosterable. Has only scored over 20 points once this entire season, and that was way back in week 2 against the Niners. His upcoming schedule is a dumpster fire. You can go ahead and cut bait with Matt Stafford. From Junior's team, he got an absolute walkthrough this week, but the big thing with Junior is Kareem Hunt continues to get it done as the focal point of that Chiefs offense, 32 fantasy points. And, the guy's awesome. Crispy Kareem is living the dream. So there you go, guys. There's your matchup recaps. I'll see you guys Thursday afternoon for some previews. And there you go.